My English learning journey by graded readers, the beginning of my journey.
Hello, friends. Today I am going to share with you a deeply personal and meaningful story, my English learning journey. Learning English has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. From the struggles I faced as a beginner, to the thrilling moments of success, each step of this journey has shaped me into who I am today. This story isn't just about learning a language. It's about overcoming fears, embracing challenges, and discovering new parts of myself. My name is Jenny, and like many of you, I started learning English with almost no knowledge of the language. I didn't grow up in an English speaking environment. In fact, for most of my childhood, English was a subject in school that I barely paid attention to. It was just one of those things I had to do, something to pass exams and then forget about. Little did I know that English would soon become a key part of my life.
But let's start from the beginning. This is my story.
Chapter 1: Early Struggles with Language. My first memory of English is from primary school. I remember sitting in class, staring at the blackboard as my teacher wrote out the alphabet. The letters were familiar to me, A, B, C, but putting them together to form words was a completely different challenge. As a child, I had no idea why learning English was important. It felt distant, like something that didn't belong to my world.
The early days were tough. English grammar was confusing, the pronunciation sounded strange, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't seem to get the hang of it. My classmates didn't seem to have the same struggles. They would read passages from textbooks fluently, while I fumbled through sentences, feeling embarrassed and frustrated.
I remember one particular day in class when we were asked to read a short story out loud. As I stood up to read, I could feel my hands shaking, my heart racing. The words on the page seemed like a blur, and I stumbled through each line. I mispronounced words, skipped sentences, and felt the heat of embarrassment rise to my cheeks. By the time I finished, my teacher gave me a kind but disappointed look, and I could hear some of my classmates whispering.
It was moments like this that made me dread English lessons. Every time I failed to understand something, I felt like I was falling behind. Every mistake felt like a personal failure. But I didn't give up, even though I often wanted to. Deep down, I knew that I had to keep going. Chapter 2: A Spark of Motivation. Everything changed when I discovered my motivation for learning English. It wasn't in the classroom, and it didn't come from a teacher. It came from something unexpected, a movie. One evening, I sat down to watch a movie with my family. It was in English, and though there were subtitles in my native language, I found myself fascinated by the way the characters spoke. There was something about the rhythm of the language, the way the words flowed together, that caught my attention. Even though I didn't understand most of what was being said, I was hooked.
After that, I started watching more movies in English. At first, I still relied heavily on the subtitles, but slowly, I started to pick up on words and phrases. I began to notice patterns in the way sentences were constructed. Watching movies became my new way of learning English, and for the first time, I actually enjoyed it.
I realized that learning English wasn't just about passing exams or following school lessons. It was a way to access a whole new world of stories, ideas, and cultures. I became determined to improve, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. That spark of motivation changed everything for me. Chapter 3: Immersing myself in English. With my newfound motivation, I began to immerse myself in English as much as possible. I started listening to English songs, reading English books, and even trying to have small conversations in English with anyone who would listen. I didn't always understand everything, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that I was practicing and learning every day. One of the things that helped me the most was keeping an English notebook. Every time I learned a new word, I wrote it down. I also wrote down sentences, phrases, and anything else that I found useful. Whenever I had a spare moment, I would look through my notebook and try to memorize what I had written. At school, I became more active in my English lessons. I started asking questions, participating in class discussions, and volunteering to read out loud. My confidence was growing, and with it, my ability to communicate in English. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were still many challenges. English grammar, in particular, was a constant struggle. I often mixed up tenses, confused prepositions, and made all sorts of mistakes. But instead of getting discouraged, I used these mistakes as learning opportunities. I began to see every mistake as a step forward, rather than a setback. One of the most exciting moments came when I was able to watch a movie without needing the subtitles. I still didn't understand every single word, but I could follow the story, and that felt like a huge accomplishment. It was proof that all my hard work was paying off. Chapter 4. The role of friends and teachers. As I continued my English learning journey, I realized how important it was to have support from others. I was lucky enough to have friends who were also interested in learning English, and we would often practice speaking together. We weren't fluent, but we encouraged each other, and that made a big difference. In addition to my friends, I had some amazing teachers who went out of their way to help me improve. One teacher, in particular, played a big role in my progress. She saw that I was struggling but also noticed how hard I was trying. She started giving me extra exercises to practice, and she would take the time to explain things to me after class when I didn't understand something. I remember one day when she pulled me aside and told me, "You are going to get there. Just keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes." Those words stuck with me. They gave me the confidence I needed to keep pushing forward, even when things were difficult. Having a support system made a world of difference. It made me realize that learning a language isn't something you have to do alone. Whether it's friends, teachers, or even online communities, having people to practice with and learn from is essential. Chapter 5. My first fluent conversation. I'll never forget the day I had my first fluent conversation in English. It was with a tourist who was visiting my hometown. I was nervous at first, but I decided to take the plunge and start a conversation. We talked about simple things, the weather, where they were from, what they liked about the city, but the important thing was that I was speaking English, and they understood me. The words flowed more easily than I expected, and for the first time, I didn't feel self-conscious about making mistakes. When the conversation ended, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment that I had never felt before. It was a small conversation, but to me, it represented all the hard work and effort I had put into learning English. This experience gave me the confidence to speak more often. After that day, I started looking for more opportunities to practice my English. Whether it was talking to tourists, chatting with friends, or participating in school activities, I embraced every chance to improve.
Chapter 6. Expanding my horizons. After my first successful conversation in English, I felt like a door had opened to a much larger world. My confidence was at an all-time high, and I wanted to take full advantage of every opportunity to expand my skills. This was the point when English stopped feeling like a school subject and started feeling like a key to unlocking new experiences. One of the biggest ways my horizons expanded was through the internet. Before this point, I had mostly used it for entertainment or schoolwork, but now I saw it as a powerful learning tool. I started reading English articles and blogs, joining forums where people spoke English, and watching YouTube videos without subtitles. Each time I found something I could understand, I felt a little more connected to the larger English speaking world.
One of my favorite discoveries was TED Talks. I loved listening to people speak passionately about a wide variety of topics, from science and technology to personal growth. These talks were a perfect way to challenge myself, and I often listened to the same talk multiple times to catch every word. Slowly but surely, I noticed that I could understand more and more, even when the speaker spoke quickly. Books became another passion of mine. I decided to take on the challenge of reading my first full book in English. I picked a novel that was recommended for English learners, and although it took me a long time to get through it, I was determined to finish. Every time I came across a new word, I would look it up, write it in my notebook, and try to use it in sentences later. By the time I reached the last page, I felt an overwhelming sense of achievement. I had just read an entire book in English. These new experiences showed me that learning English wasn't just about grammar and vocabulary. It was about connecting with new ideas, expanding my perspective, and experiencing things that I wouldn't have had access to otherwise. It was no longer just about becoming fluent. It was about becoming a part of the global community.
Chapter 7. Challenges along the way. Of course, every journey has its challenges, and mine was no exception. As I became more advanced in English, I found that my progress started to slow down. The easy wins of learning new words and phrases became less frequent, and I hit what many people call a learning plateau. It was frustrating because, despite all my efforts, I felt like I wasn't improving as quickly as I had in the beginning.
This phase of my journey was tough. There were times when I questioned whether I would ever truly master English. I remember trying to write essays in English and feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of the language. There were so many subtle rules, exceptions, and idiomatic expressions that I didn't understand. It was like climbing a mountain that kept getting steeper the higher I went. But instead of letting the frustration defeat me, I decided to approach the challenges with a new mindset. I started breaking my goals into smaller, more manageable pieces. Instead of trying to master everything at once, I focused on specific areas where I wanted to improve. For example, I would spend a week practicing verb tenses, or I would challenge myself to use a set number of new words each day in conversation.
Another strategy that helped was changing the way I measured progress. Instead of focusing solely on fluency, I started appreciating the little victories, understanding a complicated sentence in a book, being able to follow a conversation between native speakers, or using a difficult word correctly in a sentence. Each small win reminded me that I was still moving forward, even if the progress was slower than before.
One of the biggest lessons I learned during this time was that language learning is not linear. There are ups and downs, fast progress and slow periods. What matters most is staying committed and being patient with yourself. Eventually, I started to see improvements again, and the plateau I had been stuck on became just another part of the journey.
Chapter 8. English is a part of my identity. As the years went by, English became more than just a language I was learning, it became a part of who I was. It shaped my identity in ways I hadn't anticipated. Speaking English gave me access to a whole new world of media, culture, and opportunities that I had never imagined before. It allowed me to communicate with people from different backgrounds and gave me a broader perspective on the world.
I remember the first time I met a group of international friends who spoke English as their common language. It was incredible to see how English allowed us to connect, even though we came from different countries and cultures. We shared stories, laughed together, and learned from each other. English was the bridge that brought us together. I also noticed how English started to influence the way I thought and expressed myself. Certain ideas or concepts that didn't exist in my native language were easier to convey in English. It was as if learning English had given me a new lens through which to see the world. I found myself thinking in English more often and even dreaming in English at times. This transformation wasn't just about language, it was about growing as a person. I became more confident, more open to new experiences, and more willing to take risks. Learning English taught me that I could achieve anything I set my mind to, as long as I was willing to put in the effort and stay persistent. By this point, English had become an integral part of my life, not just a skill I was learning. It was something I carried with me in every conversation, every book I read, and every new opportunity I encountered. Chapter 9. Passing the torch. As I became more confident in my English skills, I started to realize how much I had learned along the way. I knew how it felt to struggle, to feel frustrated, and to doubt whether I would ever succeed, and because of that, I wanted to help others who were just starting their own English learning journey. I began tutoring some of my younger classmates and friends who were struggling with English. At first, I wasn't sure if I would be a good teacher, but I quickly discovered how rewarding it was to see others make progress. I could relate to their challenges, and I knew exactly what it felt like to be in their shoes. Teaching others also made me reflect on my own journey and how far I had come. I realized that every mistake, every moment of frustration, and every challenge had been worth it because it had made me a better learner, and now, a better teacher. One of my proudest moments was when a student I had been tutoring came to me and said, "I finally understand this." She had been struggling with English grammar for weeks, but with a little guidance and encouragement, she had made a breakthrough. Seeing her excitement reminded me of my own first victories in learning English, and it felt incredibly fulfilling to be a part of her success.
Passing the torch to others wasn't just about teaching English, it was about sharing the belief that anyone can learn if they are determined. I wanted to inspire others to see that learning a language is not just about memorizing words and grammar rules, but about connecting with others and expanding your understanding of the world.
Chapter 10. A lifelong journey. Looking back on my English learning journey, I realized that it's not something that ever truly ends. Even after years of studying, practicing, and achieving fluency, there's always something new to learn. New words, new expressions, new ways of thinking. English, like any language, is constantly evolving, and so is my understanding of it. What I've come to appreciate is that learning a language is a lifelong process. It's not about reaching a final destination, but about enjoying the journey itself. I no longer see English as something I have to master, but as something that continues to enrich my life in countless ways. I still make mistakes, and I still encounter words I don't know, but instead of feeling frustrated, I see these moments as opportunities to keep growing. Every new word I learn is another step forward, and every challenge I face is a chance to become better. English has opened so many doors for me, both personally and professionally. It's given me the confidence to travel, meet new people, and take on new challenges. But more than anything, it's taught me the value of perseverance, patience, and self-belief. My English learning journey is far from over, and I'm excited to see where it will take me next. I hope that my story can inspire others who are just starting their own journey. No matter how difficult it may seem at times, know that every step forward is progress, and with dedication, you can achieve your goals.